Well, good morning, Common Core warriors, anti-Fed Ed warriors. Lynn Taylor here, Common Core Diva, coming to you live, or actually recorded live, Wednesday, the 21st of October. And what I'm addressing is I'm going to be presenting a rebuttal to an article that was published just yesterday by the Federalist, and it is this one right here. And it's talking about what Betsy DeVos has to say about the role of the family and the government when it comes to education. So bear with me. I'm going to read you some of this particular article. This is written by Joshua Lawson, by the way, for the Federalist. Okay? All right. As most of the nation is transfixed on the looming presidential election, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos remains laser focused on the job at hand. Education is the means by which we secure the God-given blessings of liberty, DeVos told a gathering of more than 250 people at Hillsdale College. All right. Now, whether she has 3 months at her post or the possibility of another 4 years, that's going to be determined in the next few weeks. But regardless of the outcome, DeVos has made it clear that she's happy with what the administration has accomplished, but knows that there's still much work to be done. The COVID crisis has laid bare a lot about American education, DeVos has said. Parents are more aware than ever about how and what their children are or are not learning. And far too many are stuck with no choices, no help, and no way forward. DeVos vowed to fight for American students and their parents and to fight against anyone who would seek to have the government usurp the role of the parent. All right, she said that the family is not only an institution, it's also the foundation for all other institutions. All right, the family cultivates art, athletics, business, education, faith, music, film. If you had to put it in one word, it would be culture, okay? And just as the family shapes its culture, it also shapes the government. Okay, so she goes on to say that what she really wants to see is expanding robust school choice programs across the nation. I want to picture it like kids with backpacks representing funding for their education that follow them wherever they go. The main thrust of her program would be that parents are having control over how their tax dollars are spent on the education of their children. Ideally, education spending should follow their children wherever they want to learn. And in fact, the article goes on to cite a particular poll that has said that 3 out of 4 families with children in public school think that school choice is a great thing. All right, so she's bolstered by rising support in supposed school choice. She also wants to expand on education freedom scholarships, vouchers, and still wants to think that states and local entities are more in control of education now than ever before. And the reason why I say that is this quote from her right here. We restored state, local, and family control of education by faithfully implementing the Every Student Succeeds Act, by ending Common Core, and by urging Congress to put an end to education earmarks by consolidating nearly all federal K-12 programs into one block grant. We expanded the in-demand DC voucher program. We support the creation of more public charter schools and reforming the tax code so families can use tax-preferred 529 savings accounts for expenses related to K-12 education. She's also supportive of the bipartisan School Choice Now Act that Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina has on the table, and this would directly fund families and empower them to choose the best educational setting for their children. All right, now let's back up. I said this was a rebuttal. Okay, first of all, faithfully implementing the Every Student Succeeds Act. Well, let's think about it. Every Student Succeeds Act is unconstitutional law that should never have even been signed, much less continue to be supported. All right? Implementing it is doing nothing but continuing an agenda. Ending Common Core, No, we've called Betsy DeVos out on this on many occasions. Not only myself, but several people have. Because if you look at the particular writing of the Every Student Succeeds Act, it goes into the fact of how you have to have the same type of assessments geared to the same type of curriculum. Okay, we also need to think about that page 17 on Every Student Succeeds Act clearly stated that all education had to be aligned to the same post-secondary readiness standards as laid out by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Therefore, choice of any sort is pretty much wiped out because you have education being the same no matter where the child goes to school. As far as the expanding charters, that was also a mandate that was in the Every Student Succeeds Act. As far as this bogus voucher tax deferred plans, freedom scholarships, $5 billion of our taxpayer money by Trump and his administration and others working with Betsy DeVos to purport this particular lie mean that our tax dollars are being used against us in an unconstitutional way. If you look at the fact that education should not even be part of the federal government, that's in U.S. Code 20-1232A is the section, and it talks about any federal interference, and that also includes funding, but a lot of people don't read it that way. Okay, let's see what other lies we can point out about this particular address by DeVos and written up by the Federalist, which if you look into the Federalist, you'll see that they are very much in support of school choice and ed vouchers. Okay, like I said, this is purely an election stunt, and the reason I say that, if you look at the platforms for both the Republicans and the Democrats, because those are the supposed only two choices you have, these particular platforms are pretty much the same. They both want more of the status quo, more of the government into your family business. And as far as DeVos saying that she wants to willingly fight anyone who would usurp the family, well, she only needs to look beyond herself. She needs to look at herself in the mirror as well, because her department, or under her leadership, have created in-home visits that are part of the mandate for Every Student Succeeds Act, and their only goal is to usurp the family's role. You also have the Department of Health and Human Services micromanaging. You have the Department of Labor. You have the Department of Education. You even have the IRS. And one of the things about the backpack and the illusion of funding following the child wherever they go, that is a known fascist plot that has been uncovered and widely reported, not only by myself, but several other people as well, because it's a pay-as-you-go system, and pay-as-you-go is not constitutional. It's not even moral, because what it's doing, especially in this age of big tech, is it's creating cryptocurrency and bitcoins, and it's creating artificial intelligence data points for your child that will rack and stack them into a career and not a true education. So, this illusion of it's going to be able to give the parents so much more freedom and so much choice is the biggest bunch of BS that Betsy DeVos could ever churn out. Okay? Again, she lies about the Every Student Succeeds Act. I don't even know that she's read it, because if she did, she wouldn't say half of what she does. Or maybe she's assuming that we haven't read it either, and that we're just going to take her at face value. Like I said, we know that Common Core, totally not dead. That one's been called out now many times. The School Choice Now Act, that's being done in the name of COVID. I have written on that extensively back in August of this year. I did an article on August the 10th, and then I did an interview about that particular article on the 16th. You can find both of those on my blog, and that's www.commoncorediva.com. As far as her touting the fact that we need to embrace this 1776 commission, which is also in this particular Federalist article, I did a Facebook live video on that as well, pointing out not only the unconstitutionality of it, but several of the other things that were not being told to we the people. So, when you see articles like this, be sure, if you aren't sure what they exactly mean, let me know. I am not the only one who could possibly decipher this, but here's what we're seeing happen. One more time, mainstream media is taking what they think is a good thing and they're wrapping it in language that feels good and sounds good. We have people like Betsy DeVos who are using buzzwords that parents think, oh, this means wonderful things, when in fact it means absolutely more government control. Make no mistake, guys, for everything that is supposedly supposed to be promised if Biden gets elected, Trump's already doing. And in the name of education, he is willing to absolutely have the government come in and totally usurp the family. So make no mistake, DeVos is in his corner. So are many, many others. I would urge you to go to Ballotpedia if you've not cast your ballot yet. Look at the constitutional parties. Look at the libertarian parties. Look where they are with education, and you're going to find that more times than not, they are more in line with what we, the people, or those of us who are fighting government tyranny, would seek to find in an education stance. Remember, absolutely no federal anything in education was ever laid out in the Constitution. So that's it. You have a tip, let me know. I'm being banned on Facebook from posting even live videos until December. I cannot post content, so subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Look for me every week on Sons of Liberty on the morning show. That's bright and early at 6 a.m. with Tim Brown. You can find me there. Once a month, I'm on Mom's Watching Media. That's the second Tuesday of every month. And if you have a place you'd like me to speak, or a platform that you know that I could lend a voice to truth and freedom instead of all the rhetoric that we're seeing, let me know. Email me, commoncorediva@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.